Where did we just go?
We were just at an island. We were giving Dawah. It has a population around 4,000 to 5,000. And there's around 14 villages, so we went to go give Dawah there. We left our Dawah team there. They've been there before we came. They're going to stay in that district, stay in this area, and the plan is, inshallah, the entire island over the next year and a half to convert them to Islam, inshallah.
You're a British passport holder, right? Why are you coming out to these islands in the middle of nowhere?
Because I want a passport to Jannah. The fact is that this life is very short, and the people who are the most successful are the ones who remember death and they work towards the most wisest and most noblest goal, which has to be the goal that the prophets had, to call people to Islam. These people here, they don't believe in the Trinity. They don't believe in Jesus being God. They don't believe in these things. They're just Christian by name. When we talk to them about Tawheed, they naturally accept it. And by the way, their ancestors were probably Muslim too. So why shouldn't we spend our time to come here and call people to Allah?
Are you sure they're not just accepting it because they don't know what they're getting into?
You see, this is one of the assumptions people make about Africans, and it's one of those criticisms that people may direct towards us, is, oh, these are simple people and you're manipulating them. These are far from simple people. These are people who learn how to survive on remote islands. These are people who have solar panels here. These are people who build from the ground, they grow from the ground, they cultivate. They have an entire tribal system. They're intelligent people. We have conversations with them. So it's a very demeaning, derogatory thing that when we get criticized, oh, these are simple people. Well, come speak to them, you'll find out they're far from simple. In fact, why did, and you'll see in the footage, some chiefs accepted Islam, some didn't. Some villages accepted Islam, some didn't. The villagers said you should have come before. So by their very interaction, like we were saying earlier, they're accepting Islam by intellect, by reason, by foresight, by using their cognitive faculties, not simply by, oh, we're going to give you this so you convert. We didn't give them anything. They accepted Islam because they wanted to.
Yeah, and I actually think whenever Christians come attacking me whenever I'm showing this, that, oh, they don't know what they're getting into. Well, if you're upset that they are Christians, your people, and they don't know what they're getting into, how do you know that they didn't know what they were doing when they were Christians? Because this comes from a mindset of thinking that they're less than you anyway. So how do you know that?
I love what you did there. What you did is you showed a direct contradiction by changing the variables. You simply changed the variables from Islam to Christianity. Their argument applies against them. Literally. So it's a self-refuting argument, self-referring to their own paradigm of how they judge us. They're actually putting together a false argument. The question to ask is this: forget the dawah, forget them taking shahadas. When we ask them the simple question, can a man be God? They say no. You can hear it in the audio. All of them, they're saying no. Even if we didn't call them to Islam, are they really Christian? By that admission alone.
Absolutely. Well, if you ask a Christian, and if what I knew when I was a Christian, absolutely not. You could no longer be a Christian with that belief. Absolutely.
And one of the most important things to keep in mind is these people, if they weren't serious, why would they attend classes for weeks? Don't they have something better to do in the fields, growing, surviving? They're attending classes for weeks. So it's actually a mass conspiracy to try and say that these people don't know what they're doing and they're sitting there for weeks. That is the greatest insult you can give to Africans, because Africans are smart people. They've learned how to survive colonialism. You got to give them credit for that. And you got to give them credit for surviving in very harsh environments. What greater barometer for success than to survive in harsh environments? Take a white European person or a Pakistani person and bring them here. They'll be starving to death in 2 weeks.
Allahu Akbar.